Hey
Awesome.
Jana,
Hi, Dave.
how are you? Salute.
I'm very good. Thanks. Cheers. I'm drinking water. Sorry.
I'm drinking wine.
Oh,
I am drinking the Tondonia, the Vigna
oh,
Tondonia 2010, the good stuff.
nice. Hold it up. I can't see it properly. Oh,
The
nice. Very
Vigna
good.
Tondonia 2010. I mean,
Oh,
I'm
and it's
drinking it.
empty now.
I
You've been
well, no, no,
you've been working on
I,
it.
no, I decanted it. It's a
Oh, okay.
2010 Tondonia. Yeah, yeah, but
Okay, cool.
but it's good.
Awesome. All right, guys.
So,
So, welcome. This is episode 2 of a new series that we're doing at Club D. This series is all about roadmap. So it's about news and updates and plans for 2023. We're going to talk a little bit about what we accomplished last year. And yeah, maybe even a sneak peek into 2024 down the road. But today's episode is really focused on the big new initiative. Before we get into that, let's do a little intro. My name is Jana Kryline. You might know me as the Wine Girl on Instagram. Um, and yeah, I'm working with Dave at Club dVIN. Club dVIN is a global NFT wine club and a premier platform for NFTs and wine. So if you already know about us, that's awesome. And if you're tuning in for the first time, then yeah, stay tuned. There's lots to learn, and we hope to welcome you into the community. This is David Garrett. Dave, you want to introduce yourself?
sure. I'm Dave Garrett. I've been in the wine business for a long time. I was originally a tech guy and decided that wine would be more fun. I spent 10 years in Argentina building a big project down there, and then a couple of years in Hong Kong. And then after that, I've been now in the Priorat here in Spain for um, I don't know, almost, well, I guess about 10 years. And so more recently, I've been doing a lot of wine media, published some books, some podcast series, and I'm the executive producer and creator of a couple of wine television shows that are going to be coming out soon. So I'm kind of all in on the wine side and very very excited about Club dVIN. That's kind of been my big passion for the last year, and we're having just really a lot of fun with it.
That is for sure. Yeah. So actually, before we get into talking about last year, maybe we should just do a really quick intro about what Club dVIN is doing. So, of course,
Sure.
well, that includes what we did last year. But Dave, how would you describe Club dVIN just in a nutshell? So a lot of people will know. So.
Yeah, so just really quickly, when we decided to build out some technology to use Web3 to connect winemakers and wine lovers, we wanted to put together a group of early adopters. And so we reached out to all of our friends, and kind of the first 50 or 60 members were all, you know, cult winemakers, masters of wine, master somms, other people in the industry from around the world that could help us to shape exactly how to build out this tech. Then, at some point, middle of the year last year, we opened it up to friends and family. And for the last year or so, we've been slowly letting the friends and family of our initial founding members into the club as well. And so that's really what it is. It's a club that's kind of the early adopters of the technology, provides amazing access to winemakers and wineries around the world, and also access to cr- super great library drops, other rewards, experiences, events. I mean, if you look back at last year, that's the kind of thing that we do. So I don't know if I can describe it
Yeah.
any better than that. Jana, maybe you can kind of help to
No, that
describe
was
Club
great.
Divin.
Yeah. So of course, aside from being a platform for connecting NFTs to rare and investment grade wines and connecting winemakers with their truest fans, what Club Divin really is to me is it's this club of clubs for the wine world. So we don't have a ton of spots for memberships. It'll cap out at 5,000 total. And as Dave was saying, for now, it's just been kind of a sip your way into the club thing. So very exclusive still.
Yeah.
Um, and about how to get in and all how all of that works. But last year alone, we did how many events did we do, Dave? We were in
Like
over 10
53
countries.
events, 53 events, I think, in 12 countries.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
onboarded a couple thousand people on the platform. We minted thousands and thousands of Tasting Token NFTs and Digital Cork NFTs. It was a really fun year, and we met a ton of wine lovers that were interested in Web3, and a ton of Web3 native people that were super curious about wine. And we ended up, I think we met tons of friends, and we're really excited about kind of this next chapter.
Yeah, and a couple other really cool things that we did. Just to name two more, we released allocation token. So that's a token that
Hmm.
was, it's never been done before in the wine world. And we released the first one with Tony Parker, so retired NBA player, pretty cool guy, owns a chateau just outside of Avignon. So that was
Yeah,
really cool. We also helped Carmelo Anthony launch his first wine, which was another really exciting opportunity and a really fun time. And yeah, we did some really great wine drops where we're offering 100-point wines to our members. We had a 96 Chateau Margaux. You don't find that everywhere. Last bottles
yeah.
on earth kind of situation. So yeah, I think it's been a lot of fun for our members, and it's definitely been a lot of fun for us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we've been very fortunate. We've tasted a lot of great wines, with a lot of
That
great
is
wines,
true.
with a lot of great people. So
Yeah,
had a really great run last
for
year, and
sure.
we're super excited about again about this next chapter.
Definitely. So let's talk about the coming year then.
Sure,
Dave, do you want to talk about? I know we've got some new tech kind of rolling out. So what's going on with
sure.
the new app?
Yeah, just a recap from this is the recap from last week. We really dug into all of this stuff last week. So if you're feeling a little bit lost, you can go back and watch episode one on YouTube, and pretty soon there's going to be a podcast available. But what we talked about last week was we over the course of kind of December, January, February, and up until today, we ripped the platform, all of the software that we built. We sort of ripped it down to the studs and rebuilt it from scratch. Mostly because when we had originally built out our platform, it was before, like, there really wasn't a lot of infrastructure in Web3. So now we're using a lot more stable infrastructure. We're getting rid of a bunch of clicks, getting rid of a bunch of friction. And within 2 weeks, by the end of the month, we'll be doing demos of the new platform, and it should be live. So we're really excited about it. It's just going to make things a lot easier for everybody to be able to mint tokens at home and use the software kind of on your own.
Yeah. And I think for anyone who's watching, I know we have a lot of wine natives on here. No need to feel intimidated about any of the tech. So as Dave was saying, we are removing all the friction, super easy. You don't need to be blockchain or NFT savvy. This is all about the wine. So all right. Let's talk a little bit about rewards. We touched on that last week too. Again, this is a recap. We'll get more into it later.
Yeah,
But
that's kind of the main topic that we're going to talk about today is rewards, and we're going to go super deep into that. The other thing we mentioned last week is we're going to start a fun initiative for members only to tokenize your cellar. So to actually attach digital cork NFTs to wines that are in your cellar, and we're going to talk a lot more about that. I think in episode 4, episode 5. And then we've also got, by the end of the month, we're going to announce a new local chapter for Club dVIN in a big city, a big global city. We're not going to talk about which one yet, although we've got a lot of interest from a lot of people around the world saying, "Hey, I really want to dive in and build a local chapter here
Frankfurt,
London
we had
or Frankfurt or New York.
last week. Yeah.
I'll give you a hint, it's none of those, but we've got a big global city that has a bunch of members already and really wants to build out membership, and we're really excited about that. So that's kind of what we covered last week.
Yeah.
That'll bring you up to speed. Again, if you want to get in more detail in any of those things, feel free to watch episode 1.
Exactly. So today we want to dig into tasting tokens. So a tasting token is a kind of NFT we work with at Club dVIN, that Club dVIN actually came up with. And so Dave, can you give us a quick introduction? What is a tasting token NFT and how can you get one?
Sure. So when most people talk about wine and Web3, what they're typically talking about is attaching NFTs to full bottles of wine. We call that a digital cork, and that is a type of NFT that we've built out as well. It's pretty standard. It does a lot of things. It's kind of a deed of ownership. But one of the things that we realized early on was that we really needed, in order for that to work and for it to make sense, we really needed to create an incentive structure for consumers to let us know when they've opened the bottle, when that bottle was no longer authentic because they've pulled the cork. And so that's why we built the tasting token. And the tasting token is basically when you open your bottle of wine, you can pull your digital cork as well, and that'll convert into a tasting token. And a tasting token is an authentic proof of experience. You've tasted that wine.
Exactly. It's an authentic proof of experience. It's also a digital collectible, which means it's shareable on social media, which is released. I mean, I think they should be finished rolling that out by now. But in the summer, it was really exciting. I know when it came here to Germany, where I'm based, and I was able to finally share some of my NFTs instantly on my social profile. So if you guys haven't done that yet and you do have tasting tokens, be sure to share them. And, that's your bragging rights. What wines did you really drink?
And speaking of sharing, one of the things that we built out that is really fun is when you open a bottle and you pull the digital cork, so you burn the digital cork and you have your tasting token. If it's your bottle, you actually have the ability to share the tasting token or mint new tasting tokens for up to 11 other people. So there can be 12 tasting tokens for each bottle of wine. And that's pretty interesting because it not only gives you the ability to track the great wines that you've tried and flex on Instagram or however you want to collect those digital collectibles, but it also gives you the ability to share those with other people. And that's really, for me, that's kind of what wine is all about, right? Like, every time you open a great bottle of wine, you're sharing it with friends or family or people that you want to kind of share that experience with. And the tasting tokens really provide a way to do that. Provide a way to share in not just the experience, but also share that digital collectible. And we'll talk later about the intrinsic value of the digital collectibles as well.
Yeah. So within the app, Dave's going to do a demo here at the end. So stay tuned for that for sure. And you'll be able to see how the platform actually works and how you can track your tasting journey. You'll be able to flip through. I mean, you can already flip through between digital cellar, where all of your unopened bottles of wine are, where your digital corks are. And then on the other side, you'll be able to track your tasting journey by actually looking through and viewing all of those tasting tokens that you've collected. And another thing that's really cool, and Dave, actually, I don't think you mentioned it just now, but this is the first time that a winemaker can actually connect with the end consumer at the point of consumption. So it's the first time that
Yeah.
they see through these tasting tokens who's really drinking their wines.
So we think that there's really 4 major benefits of a tasting token, right? One is that it's this authentic proof of experience, right? It's something where it's like a stamp, right? I have tasted this wine. It's like a stamp in your passport. It's like a ticket stub. It's like, I've tasted this wine. Part of it is kind of cool because you can share it on Instagram or you can share it with other people. But like, it's neat. I've tasted this wine and authentically I can prove that I did. The second piece is it allows you to, as you start collecting them, to track your taste, to keep a tasting journal, right? So imagine having tasting tokens for the next 30 or 40 great wines that you taste, and being able to look back and very easily see which wines they were, know all the metadata, know who you tasted them with and when. And all that information is authentic and kept in a immutable record. I think that's pretty cool. We've talked a little bit about, like, in past conversations about, the future of what that could look like. In my head, it always, if you think about like the metaverse, in my head, it always goes to like the concept of being able to like sort all the great wines that you've tasted by, I want to sort them by vintage, or I want to sort them by region, or I want to just look at the great wines that I've tasted with Jana, or I just want to look at the great wines from Burgundy. So it provides you with like really an interesting way to do it. And because they're these videos that kind of tell a story about the winemaker, you can also, by this time next year, you'll be able to add your own content. So imagine in the metaverse being able to see, like, Star Trek holodeck, like all of you these memories of great wines that you've tasted. Like, I think that's pretty cool. But the piece that we're going to talk about today is how, by collecting tasting tokens, you can start earning rewards with winemakers. Because at the heart of Web3, because we're working on the blockchain, and because NFTs are part of that public record. When you claim a tasting token, that's public information, right? Like, the winemaker will know that you have that authentic experience. Now, you're going to have to opt in whether or not you want to share contact information with the winemaker. You can say, no, I only want, I want to be completely anonymous all the time, or yes, I want the winemaker to be able to contact me. But in this case, we're going to provide really interesting incentives for you to connect with the winemaker, not just because you want to be part of that winemaker's community if you love their wine, but also because the winemaker has the ability now to offer you rewards and incentives and status based on the tasting tokens that you collect.
Exactly. So by collecting tasting tokens, basically the scheme of it, to collect tasting tokens to earn rewards tokens. So what are rewards tokens? Are they also NFTs?
Sure. So yeah, I mean, think about it like this. Um, if you're part of an airline miles program, and I'm going to guess that everybody that's listening to this or watching this is,
Ah, yeah.
whenever you take a flight, you usually get two kinds of rewards, right? You get like experience points. This is how many flights you've had, and that kind of, those things sort of add up to give you status. And then you get miles, and the miles are what you turn in, or you can those are, that's kind of what you use to buy an upgrade, or to buy a free flight, or whatever it is you want to turn them in for. So tasting tokens are kind of like your experience points, right? They're non-transferable, they're non-tradable. When you mint a tasting token, that's yours forever. It's what's called a soul-bound token, right? That's always your personal proof of experience. And the reason that we wanted to make them non-tradable and non-transferable is because winemakers really want to connect with authentic consumers. So if you could collect your tasting token and then sell it to someone else, then it's just whoever has the most money can buy up all the tasting tokens, and then they get the special access with the winemaker. What the winemakers really want is not necessarily to talk to the guy with the most money today. They want to talk to the person who's a really authentic consumer. And so that's why tasting tokens are non-transferable. However, in order to give you a currency, or to give users a currency or something that they can trade for experiences, we developed something called the rewards tokens. And rewards tokens are NFTs. They're Polygon. They're very similar to tasting tokens, except they are tradable and transferable. And the reason for that is it gives you a like points that you can trade for experiences, events, cool things with the winemakers. Now, Jana, do you want to talk about the creative?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I'm allowed to say. It was a lot of fun putting this together back in
You
Barcelona.
you talk about it, and we'll, if we need to, we'll cut it out in post.
Okay. So basically what we're thinking about for the creative, it's they're going to be the tokens will be distributed randomly and they will be basically varied in rarity, right? Kind of think about the McDonald's Monopoly scheme, but we're going to be playing on the wine, obviously on the wine topic. So, you might get a token for Burgundy, and that'll have a Burgundy creative on it, or you might get a grape varietal. So these are the kind of things that you're going to have to sort of mix and match in order to redeem a certain reward, obviously pertaining to those to that theme. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to start giving these out.
Yeah, we're
But
we're really excited about it. We think that the
yeah,
first group is going to be there's really two different kinds, right? There's region tokens, so like Bordeaux, Burgundy, Champagne, Napa, Rioja, Tuscany, Piemonte. And then we'll have varietal tokens. So Cabernet Sauvignon, Sangiovese, Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Merlot. Merlot? Do we have Merlot? I think we're gonna have
I
Merlot.
believe so. We
Um,
have to have
and
Merlot.
and all of the different those different tokens. So, and we're gonna start, and you'll when you earn rewards tokens, you'll get them randomly. But the concept is that we're going to start making the rewards kind of fun, where you need to put together the right combination of varietals and regions in order to earn the rewards.
Exactly. Yeah. So, for example, in order to maybe win a special tasting in Champagne, you might have to have the Pinot Noir grape and maybe the Chardonnay grape and maybe the Pinot Meunier grape. Maybe you have to have those three and the Champagne region in order to claim the grand prize that we're giving away from that region, within that time frame. So it'll
So
be a
it'll
lot
be
of
a
fun.
little bit fun and a little, maybe a little, maybe you'll learn a little bit and it'll be a little bit fun. And mostly the idea is for it to be really engaging and something that people can have really a lot of fun with in the beginning. We know that most of the people that are going to be playing with this are pretty web are going to be web3 curious or web3 native. So like we want to give something for people that people can really enjoy and play around with. Um,
Yeah. And trade,
uh,
right? Like, so this is
and
also going to
trade,
be,
yeah,
I see this as being a little competitive.
sure. And that's why we made them NFTs. We actually had we went back and forth a lot between should we just make these points? Should you just get X number of points every time you claim a tasting token, or every time you share a tasting token with someone else? And we looked at that and we thought we could do that, but it's just as much work and it's not as much fun. And we wanted to provide something
True.
that would be a lot more fun and a lot more interesting with better creatives and something that could be not only natively Web3, but also like a really good game. Something fun and something really interesting for the wine curious crowd among our members and users.
Yeah.
Um,
So just to go back for 1 second, Dave, we talked about the fact that they'll be distributed randomly, but how are you imagining the distribution of these?
So we're thinking about them in terms of vintages, right? So we launched in 2022, and in 2022, I think we ended up onboarding, I think, right around 2,000 people on the platform, and we minted something like 6,000 tasting tokens, something like that. Um, so how we're going to start is we're going to go back to everybody that minted a tasting token in 2022, and everyone will get rewards tokens airdropped in their wallet based on how many tasting tokens they collected, what kind of membership they have if they have a membership, um, uh, if they have digital corks in their wallet, if they bought wine on the platform. So we've kind of put together a little scheme, but there will probably be about 10,000 rewards tokens that will airdrop from 2022. And on a going forward basis, the idea, and we're still playing with exactly how it will work, but everything you do on our platform will earn you rewards tokens. And again, we'll divvy them up by vintage. So this year, everything you do on the platform will get you 2023 tokens. So for example, one idea would be every time you mint a tasting token, you'll get a random rewards token. But if you, for example, buy wine on the platform, if you buy a bottle on the platform, you might get specific rewards tokens. So, for example, if you bought a bottle um, of Chateau Le Pin, right, from Pomerol, then you would get like maybe one Bordeaux token and one Merlot token, right? So the idea is to have it be kind of fun and interesting in that way. So what you can here's what you can look forward to. If you've been on the platform since last year and you've got some tasting tokens or other tokens from dVIN in your wallet, you're gonna get some rewards tokens airdrop to you sometime in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
If you're
And
just
I
new
think
to the
we'll,
platform and you're starting to mint new tokens, then automatically, and again, this will be sometime, middle of the year, but automatically you'll just start getting tokens airdrop to you, rewards tokens airdrop to you as you interact with the platform, whether you're buying wine on the platform or opening bottles or minting tokens from friends.
exactly. And just to go back to what kind of rewards, we touched on it for a second. Kind of rewards are going to be coming. We've got really exciting stuff. It's going to be, winery visits, barrel tastings, harvest events. We have one harvest event in particular that's coming up that most of you have probably heard of. We're going to be doing the inaugural harvest in the Kingdom of Bhutan. Club dVIN has the exclusive permission to take in our members and participate in the first harvest ever in the Himalayas. So that's going to be coming up next year. That'll definitely be a top prize. We'll be doing virtual tastings, library offers on wines, so winery dinners, winemaker events, those kind of things. So there will be lots of really great things that you'll be able to redeem your rewards tokens for.
Yeah, I mean, for the last few months, we've been talking to winemakers from all over the world about how to get involved with the platform. And I'll tell you, they've come to us with some really creative ideas. Some of them want to tokenize winemaker dinners. So as the winemakers are traveling around the world doing winemaker dinners with, with customers and with, importers and distributors in different places around the world, they will make seats available for our members that can earn tokens, and they're going to tokenize all of those winemaker dinners, which we're really excited about. We've got other wineries that want to tokenize their tasting rooms. Probably not their public tasting rooms, but when they do reserve tastings or when they have people come in and do tastings in the tasting rooms, they want to tokenize that. So we'll make that available. That'll be a reward. We've talked about barrel tastings. We've talked about with some of the wineries that have, Michelin star chefs that work at the winery, doing great lunches at the winery, or even harvest events. And as Jenna was talking about Bhutan, like all of the winemakers that we're talking to have events, have experiences, and even have these library drops that they want to put on the platform. So we'll have really there's no end to the kinds of rewards that we can make available on the platform. And we'll start,
Yeah.
like I said, in a couple of months. As soon as we do the airdrop to the 2022 holders, there will be a number of rewards available kind of on the offers tab on the app, and those will be refreshed every week. with new tastings, new experiences, new library drops that will be available to you based on which rewards tokens you have in your wallet.
Definitely. And if you guys have ideas for what kind of rewards you want, then definitely hop into our Discord and let us know. We're still very much at the point where we can curate things. So
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
and I
yeah.
think we
And you
always
can
will
look at the
be.
website,
Yeah.
and you can also go to the website if you go to the events tab on the website and look at the scroll down and look at the once in a lifetime experiences. A lot of our founding members have tons of ideas about fun stuff to do. We were
Yeah,
talking
like David
to,
Forer, Master
yeah,
of
yeah,
Wine
yeah.
David Forer wants to do a wine experience in Piemonte.
Yeah.
Some pretty cool stuff going on.
One of our founding members, Maureen Downey, is the foremost expert in the world. She was in all the Saw movies and in oh, what was it called? Sour grapes.
Sour grapes.
She's the foremost expert in the world on wine fraud or
Anti-counterfeit.
counterfeit wines. She can actually figure out if a wine has been fake, if it's a fake bottle or a real bottle. And that's that she's it's amazing. The kinds of the level of detail that she can find is pretty cool. So one of the experiences that we have with her, and this is just an aside, but it's really fun, is to she's gonna have an event with six people, and bring six bottles of wine, three of them real and three of them fake. And the idea is who can pick which ones are fake and which ones are real, based on like looking at examining the bottle and tasting the wines, and then whoever wins gets the real bottles of the fakes or something like that. It's going to be really cool. She's got a really good idea. She's very creative with that. So we're super excited about those kinds of experiences. Really fun, interesting, once in a lifetime experiences.
All right. That sounds very exciting. I want to be part of that tasting. I think I'd be pretty nervous. Imagine you get it wrong as a wine professional. Oh,
I wouldn't even
God.
try. Um, so Janet, do you want to talk about how to redeem tokens? You
Yeah.
touched on it a little bit earlier.
Yeah. So it's going to depend then, like as we discussed before, it's going to depend on probably where the local redeeming a prize, and then the varietals or the regional tokens that you'll have to put together in order to redeem that prize. It's going to have to match up based on actual wine trivia. So that's the idea that we're working with right now. So it should be pretty cool. A little bit like McDonald's Monopoly, but I know that didn't go over so well. I heard there's a documentary about that right now. That was a scam.
Yeah, 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 it was a
A
huge
scam.
fraud. Apparently,
Yeah.
it was a big scam. So we're not
Yeah.
going to
So
do it
we
exactly like McDonald's Monopoly, but think about it like this. If we have a tasting at, if there is a tasting at Domaine du Jacques in the catalog or in the marketplace, then maybe you would need two Burgundy tokens and two Pinot Noir tokens in order to earn that, tasting with the winemaker at Domaine du Jacques.
yeah.
Or let's say it's a winemaker dinner at Realm. Well, maybe what you need is one Napa token and then one of each of the five primary Bordeaux tokens in order to get that winemaker dinner with Realm. So there's lots of those kinds of things, and the idea is, you put together the right, when you receive them randomly. But when you want to redeem them, you have to put together the right combination in order to get the reward. And so,
Exactly.
part of that is, and some of them will be really easy, right? It'll just be like, we'll get like a couple of tokens that everyone has. But for things like Bhutan, for example, I think we're going to give away a couple of tickets to Bhutan, and in order to get those, you're going to have to get like one of each of the tokens, and I think there's going to be 26 different tokens. So you'll have to get one of each.
Yeah.
So
Well, there's
that'll be really hard to do.
13 there's 13 different grape varieties planted in Bhutan. So maybe you have to
Yeah.
get one of each of them
Yeah.
and the
Yeah. Yeah.
Bhutan token, which will be super rare. And some of those grape varieties are super rare too, right? So I don't
Exactly.
know if like, what is it, like Petit Meslier or something that's there? And there won't be many of those. So the grape variety tokens will also be distributed in terms of their planting areas worldwide or regionally. So, there will be a lot of Cabernet Sauvignon out there, but, uh, but yeah, some grapes will be very rare and some not so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
But actually, and there's one more thing that I wanted to talk about with regards to rewards, which is, you know, the just like with airline programs, part of it is the miles that you get that you can turn in for rewards or upgrades or free flights. But another big part of it is status, is earning your status on the airline so that you get access to the lounge and you get maybe access to the free upgrades. And one of the things that we'll put in place as well is status levels. Now we're still working out exactly what that's going to be. We have some pretty interesting ideas for what those levels will be called, but the one of the big ideas that we have for status is if you get, let's call it, I'm going to just say Grand Cru status. I don't think that's how we're going to do it, but let's say you have enough tokens to earn yourself Grand Cru status at Club dVIN. The idea is that that status will get you special privileges at all of our partner wineries. And so that's a really cool reward that in the beginning when we just have a few partner wineries that there's it has some value, but over time we think that'll have really significant value, and that's really part of the value of being one of the Genesis members at Club dVIN.
Is that, Dave, is that what you're talking about in terms of token gated offers? That there's going to be a token gated offers tab? Is that
Yeah, well, that's actually the rewards piece. So I'm going to do a demo a little bit later, and when I do, I'll show you what the offers tab looks like. But once this rewards scheme is in place, then based on when you sign into the app with your wallet, based on the rewards tokens in your wallet, you will see the 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 different things that you have that you can redeem your rewards tokens for. So we might have 50 different things that are available to members, but you're only going to see the ones that you qualify for with the rewards tokens in your wallet. That's kind of the nice thing about how Web3 works.
okay? So this is similar to then right now, if you're not a member and you log into the platform, if you log into the app, which is app.clubdvin.com, if you're there, you can't see a lot of the things there. So this is token gated, right? So if you have a membership, you'll be able to see the wine offers that we currently have up. And if you're not a member, you won't be able to see those. So that's a
Right.
similar way. Okay, so let's talk about the marketplace that the rewards NFT, and where are we going
Sure.
to be? Where
Well,
are we going to be?
so
Is this wearable?
yeah. So this is a partnership with Rarible, and the idea is as you're collecting your tasting tokens and you're getting airdropped rewards tokens, um, in order to put together the combination of rewards tokens to earn the rewards that you want, you might not be able. It might be easier to, instead of waiting until you get a Syrah token, for example, to just trade for it on a marketplace, right? So let's say you've got lots of Cabernet Sauvignon, but in order to get this cool event with Tony Parker and the Rhone, you really need a Grenache token, or you need other varietal tokens from the Rhone. Well, you can wait around until you get it, or you can trade your Cabernet Sauvignon token for the Syrah token that you need in order to get the reward that you want. So part of what we're doing is creating a marketplace that makes it really easy for people to be able to trade back and forth. And you can, if you're the kind of person that doesn't want any of the rewards at all, you're not interested in experiences or events or special wine drops, you can just put your rewards tokens on the market for sale, and people can buy those or trade for those and claim rewards. Or if you're the person that maybe you haven't claimed as many, you haven't had the opportunity to claim as many rewards, but you really are looking forward to going to Bhutan or doing one of these really fun experiences, you can just buy the rewards tokens that you need in the marketplace. So we're
Okay,
working
but
with Rarible to make that. Go ahead.
yeah, so Rarible is an NFT marketplace. But Dave, does that mean that if I wanted to, let's say I have almost all of the tokens that I need to redeem the grand prize to go to Bhutan, and I can see that somebody else has it, and I'm going to bid on it, does that mean that I have to have crypto? Do I have to buy with crypto? Can I?
That's the cool thing about Rarible is has really become a very friendly place for, you know, people that are really that are interested in Web3, but not super knowledgeable about crypto. So you can buy any NFT with fiat on Rarible. It's really easy to just do it with a credit card if you want. So it'll be very simple for just a normal everyday consumer. My dad, for example, would be able to really easily go in, look and see what tokens he has, find the tokens that he needs, bid on those, and buy them. It's a very simple platform, and we're really excited about working with Rarible on this.
Awesome. All right, it's almost time for a demo. But before we get into that, when does all of this start? When are we unleashing the rewards tokens?
So we don't have a fixed date yet, but we think it's sometime in Q2 of this year. So you can expect it before, let's say, before the beginning of July. So,
Awesome.
and we'll keep people, we'll obviously we'll let people know, and we'll keep people abreast. We'll keep doing these sessions to allow people to ask questions and to give us feedback. And but yeah, we think probably before the end of Q2.
Amazing. All
Yeah.
right. So Dave is going to do a demo for us, and everybody who's here today is going to be able to mint a token. So don't be intimidated, but all you're going to need is your smartphone, and it'll be a really quick, smooth process. You don't have to have a wallet. You don't have to have something set up. If you do, even better. But we're just going to show you how slick and quick this really is. And also, feel free to community while Dave's getting the demo up to ask your questions in the chat here.
Yeah,
We'll do a little Q&A after this.
yeah, absolutely. As you have questions, please feel free to take this is a really good time to ask questions, because I'm gonna kind of bowl through a demo. So we did a demo last week, and so if you want the really full demo, then you can kind of watch the episode from last week. It kind of comes close to the end. I'm going to do a little bit of an abbreviated demo now because we're starting to run out of time already. So I'm going to go quickly. But I'm going to share my screen. And so those of you who've seen the app, and that's most of you, I think, you'll recognize this. This is my digital seller. You'll see that this is kind of built for mobile, and we really did. We built the platform for mobile. Right now, it's a web app. Eventually, we'll have an iOS and an Android app. Right now, it's just very easy to sign in with your phone. I'm going to show you kind of this is the anatomy of a digital cork. So this is an NFT that represents a bottle of wine that is in my personal collection. Couple of interesting things to note. This video is like a 12-second video that tells the story of this bottle. This blue check mark means that this wine came directly from the winemaker. You can see how many bottles have been opened. You can look at it on Wine Searcher, and you can see there's tons of, all the metadata for this wine. Everything that you would ever want to know about this wine, you can find here in the metadata. This bottle just happens to be at Bordeaux City Bond, so it's at a bonded warehouse. And if I click here, then it gives me a little dialog box that allows me to figure out how to ship it to me wherever I am in the world. So that's what a digital cork is. I'm gonna right now, and this is my digital seller. We have created a little token just for this event. So it's kind of a fake tasting token, but we created this with an idea of just showing you kind of how the software works. So, for example, and just bear with me, if we were opening a real bottle and we were all sitting in the same room, which hopefully we'll all do this at some point, but if we were sitting in the same room opening a bottle, what would happen is I would tap that bottle with my phone. There'd be an NFC sticker that's tamper resistant and waterproof and ice proof and all that stuff. But I would tap it with my phone because this NFT is in my wallet. It would bring up this page. And then I would click open bottle, right? Because I'm opening this bottle. Now it's going to move a little bit slowly because we're recording this and I'm sharing it online. So it's going to take just a minute. But what I just did is I opened a bottle. And by pulling that digital cork, what happened in the background is that the NFT for the digital cork was burned, right? Like that did, because now that bottle is no longer authentic, right? That bottle no longer exists, so that NFT is burned. And it created a tasting token, right? So this is now a tasting token. This is that proof of experience, authentic proof of experience. And instead of having an open bottle button, now I have the ability to mint this token for everyone else. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to leave this QR code on the screen for a few minutes. There's only, I think, 36 of these available. So everyone on the live screen should be able to get it. Everyone should be able to really easily be able to just scan this with your phone and then claim the token. It's a really simple process. If you already have a MetaMask wallet or some other way to use Wallet Connect, you can claim it in about 2 seconds. If you don't, we can build you a new wallet on your phone that is connected to your Google account or your Apple account or your Twitter account. So it's super easy. Just click on the sign in with Google. We'll build you an account. We'll build you a very lightweight wallet, and we'll mint the token for your wallet. So this is how you can kind of see how this would work if you were at home opening a bottle and minting tokens for your friends. You would go through this exact same process. It's very quick, very easy, and you can kind of see how it works. So I'll give you the second to claim this token, and I'm going to stop sharing. Oh, actually, before I stop sharing, I'm going to show you a couple of other things. So we talked before about everything being token gated. If you sign on to the site, what you'll see is because I have all of the memberships and I have all of the tokens, I see all of these events. Most people without, if you just have one tasting token, you might see one or two events on this page. The same thing with offers. Because I'm a member and I have a bunch of tasting tokens, I get access to all of these different wine drops and some pretty amazing, this Chateau Margaux and some pretty amazing stuff. But if you just have a tasting token, you might have access to one or two of these things. So that's basically how the platform works. The more tokens you collect, the more rewards you have access for.
Cool. I'm
I'm
just
going to
reading the
stop
comments
now.
here. We've got 4 comments. Way too cool. Thanks so much. Got it. Great. Done. Very easy and smooth.
Look at
Good
that.
feedback.
You see? It's nice. In your tasting tokens over Zoom. That's pretty awesome.
Right. Right.
Why don't we open up the floor for more questions? Unless there's anything, is there anything that you want to cover before we close out? Jana, you want to talk about friends and family?
Yeah, we'll talk about friends and family, and then we'll do the Q&A. So, closing our friends and family offer. We talked about earlier that the only way to get into the club was knowing an existing member, being referred by them, basically either by having them pour you a glass of wine and mint you a token, or from an old school referral. But that's basically how we've been onboarding members. So in 2 weeks on March 31st, it's final call. And what F&F means, the friends and family offer, is that you can mint at 50% off. So it's a great deal. A membership to Club dVIN is a lifetime asset, which does really mean that it is a transferable asset that you can, give to a family member, a loved one, fellow wine enthusiast, pass it down through the generations, or hold on to yourself, and reap the benefits on your own.
Some
But yeah,
people
this is
buy
our
one
close.
and buy one to keep and one to sell.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
friends and family always has the ability to buy two tokens. So one to keep and one to sell if that's something that you want to do in the future, or one to keep and one to give to your best friend.
Yeah. And the cool thing about anyone who just minted a token, if it was the first token from Club dVIN that you've minted, then that actually already gives you direct access to purchase at the friends and family rate. So now all you have to do is log back in dVIN.com, and it's token gated. So as soon as you have a Club dVIN token in your wallet, you are friends and family, and you're able to go into your profile and view memberships and just fill out that profile. It's just your name and address and view memberships to purchase. And that'll be an automatically discounted rate. So call for that is March 31st. Tell your friends if you like and have them contact me or Dave. My email is j@clubdvin.com. Dave's is d@clubdvin.com. And yeah, we're also going to do an info session on March 27th. We will be in New York for an exciting little event. I won't say what, but we will definitely try and still keep that date, March 27th. If not, we'll let you know if it's rescheduled. And yeah, and now let's get to
And
the
aren't we going to have
Q&A,
another
Dave.
one this week? Later on this week, Jana? We're going to have a
Another
friends and
YouTube
family
live.
session later on this week, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
We're doing lots of lives right now as well. So we tried to do one on Instagram today. Instagram wasn't having it. In case you've been also tuning into our crash course for wine lovers, our NFT crash course series on the Wine Girl and Club dVIN's Instagram and the Reels series, you can check those out. There's going to be one every Monday and every Friday, and we're also doing info sessions and YouTube lives so there's lots of content, lots of how-tos. And yeah, I'll start to go through some of these questions. Okay. So we have a question here. Great webinar and club. Thank you. Can you please help me understand what's the most affordable way to be part of would be friends and family? So hopefully that cleared that up. All the best with your MBA, by the way. Understand the tight budget there. Okay. Winery Art Club asks, will you provide kind of an overview of the token system? So many possibilities. Dave, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to publish a white paper. We have the beginnings of it already written. So as soon as we figure out exactly what the rarity is going to be, we'll publish a white paper. But honestly, it's going to be really simple. I know it sounds super complicated, but you're going to get airdrop tokens. Every time you do something, you'll get airdrop tokens. You'll go to you'll sign into, when you sign into Club dVIN, you'll easily get to see this is how many tokens you have. This is what you can earn with them. And if you want to go buy more or sell your tokens, well, there will be a link to the marketplace for you to go and do that. So it's going to be really, really simple for you to do. The one thing to think about is, and this is interesting with the friends and family as well, is we're going to try to average the value of a rewards token to around $25. So it'll be worth about 25 bucks in terms of what the kind of nominal value is. Now, the one kind of cool thing about being a member is over the course of this year, members will be able to tokenize bottles from their personal sellers. So if you've got 50 bottles in your cellar that you want to make to tokenize or to attach digital corks to. Every time you open those bottles, you'll be minting tasting tokens for friends, which will be earning rewards tokens, which are worth 25 bucks a piece. So every time you open a bottle, you're earning, a pretty substantial number of rewards, which we're really excited about.
Yeah, and just in case, I assume that that was supposed to be about the rewards tokens. I assume that's kind of, but just in case it's about the general token system within Club dVIN, we do have our membership token, which is your NFT that gets you access to everything as a member. And then below that we have, or next in line, I would say we have the digital cork NFT, which is just the digital twin to the physical bottle of wine. As soon as that wine and uncorked, you can start minting tasting tokens, which is what Dave has recently been talking about, that proof of experience NFT. Beyond that, there are the reward tokens, and then there's one other kind of token, which is an allocation token, which you can also see in our offers as a member to Club dVIN. So hopefully that clarifies all of the tokens.
It's all going to be really, really easy to understand.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. If we're having token gated offerings, does the Global Insider have access to all of the potential offerings? Meaning, will Genesis have any that Global Insiders will not? Interesting question.
Yeah. So Global Insiders have what they have more than anything else is priority access. So priority access to any of our events and experiences, priority access to events, all kinds of those kinds of things. So it's not necessarily that you'll have access to exclusive things for Global Insiders, although there will be some of those. But most of the time, it's just Global Insiders will have advanced access. Will have priority access. So they'll get 24 hours, 48 hours in advance of everybody else. Global Insiders also get access to our 24/7 concierge service, which is a pretty fun and interesting thing as well.
All right. Another one here. Do Global Insiders get to token once a year for a couple of years?
Yes, they do. That's probably coming in Q3 of this year. But yeah, all of our members are going to be able to invite their friends. But we won't do that until we shut down membership, until we close off membership, which again should happen by Q3 this year.
Okay, next question. Do anything besides scan the QR code from today's session to be put in the raffle for the free bottle of wine? Good
Nope, that's
question.
That's it.
You're in. Okay. Did they share the QR? Miss it. Oh, you did, but I think if you're lucky, Dave will put it back up on the screen for a second.
I think I can do. Well, actually, I didn't take a screenshot, so I'm not 100% sure I can do that. But if you just go to the YouTube and rewind, you'll be able to find it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It'll be in there. It'll be easy to find.
I could have answered that. All right. So you definitely didn't miss it. Great. And I think that's all we have for questions. So yeah. Anything else, guys, please feel free to reach out to Dave or I personally. Again, the email addresses are pretty easy. I'm J, and that's Dave, so d@clubdvin.com, and we will get back to you. So thank you, everyone, so much for showing up, and I hope to see you on the next live. We're doing all kinds of lives.
Look at that. We
Thanks
finished
so
in
much,
an
Dave.
hour. I feel like I'm going to get in
can't believe it.
trouble.
Can't believe it. This never happened.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye.
Appreciate it. Cheers. Bye-bye.